Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Web3 Talks. My name is Ornella Hernandez, and today we're going to talk about esports and decentralization and DeFi sector. And my special guest is Klauss, who is the founder of Yalla Esports. How are you today?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Happy for you to come on the show. Today is a special day. We'll get into it a little later, but
yes.
Jupiter is launching its first airdrop today. So I'm going to talk to you about the significance and what's going on there. But first, I wanted to get into your background as the founder of Yalla Esports and kind of what led you to become a gamer and to found that company.
Wow. Well, I mean, we can go on forever, I guess, on this one. But long story short, I mean, I've always been a gamer. I think I started with the 8-bit Nintendo. So that's how old I am. I'm, pushing 40, a couple gray hairs, but yeah.
You're not old.
No, like always been a gamer, always been a tech. I mean, this is at the time when it was like kind of uncool to be a geek, and I was there now it's like these esports stars are popular with the girls in school, and I'm like, man, I wish that was my youth. But yeah, and I come originally from Finland. Cold and dark place. That's probably why most Finnish people are gamers, because, there is not that much outdoor activity, at least with the sun. But moved to Dubai then 2011, so been here over 10 years. And kind of started Yalla Esports officially then 2016, but essentially from day one, kind of got to know the gaming culture, gaming scene here, and really realized that there's a lot of gamers in Dubai, in the wider Middle East.
Yeah, so how would you describe the gaming industry and also specifically the esports world in UAE and in the region?
Let's kind of start from 2016. It was very unorganized. It was like scattered. You had a couple talented players here and there, but then that's kind of why we started Yalla Esports. We wanted to give these young, talented individuals, whether it was like pro players or streamers, an opportunity to go pro, like make it a career. The biggest challenge back then was the parents. They did not understand at all what we were trying to do. Fast forward today, when we have, government support, there is big initiatives. Basically, there is money in the industry on a much larger scale. Now I get calls from parents going like, hey, I have this, 15-year-old kid that is a really good gamer in my opinion. Can you make him go on the stage and win those $1 million prize pools? And I'm like, look, that's not really how it works. But yeah, I mean, now there's a lot of passion and also the demographic in the Middle East. It's a young population, which is then obviously a lot of them are gamers. So
wow, that's so funny that now the parents are like calling you.
Yeah, they want, it's like every kid wants, every parent wants their kid to become a football superstar.
Right.
Now it's like same thing, but become a gaming superstar.
I mean, it is like a sport, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a sport.
These kids are in some shape, they're kind of athletes in a way.
and I mean, just like if you really want to go pro in football, it means that you basically need to start as young as possible and have a rigorous practice schedule and take it seriously. It's not, that they play PlayStation a couple hours a day and then they become pro gamers and win $1 million prize pool. It's, long practice. And that's what maybe the parents nor the kids really see. It's like any success in the world. People always see the successful people. They don't see the decade-long grind to get there. Any profession, any sport.
Yeah. So I actually went last year to the Dubai Esports Festival in Expo City. Last summer, I think it was. And I loved it because it had games, all types of games. It had arcade games. It had board games, car racing, shooter games. And it was full of kids who just went there to play for the day. So I loved that experience. But I wanted to see more Web3 based games, which I think are maybe still in production or hasn't caught on too much. So I wanted to get your take on that and where you see the market for Web3 based games right now.
That's a really good question. So look, I live this kind of dual life, right? Where I'm a avid, passionate gamer, but I'm also a complete Web3 degen. and look, this is not the norm, right? So my biggest dream is essentially that one day we will be just talking about gaming, and it's not about the Web2 or Web3 game. Kind of, if you think about the how games like evolved, it was single player story offline game into then, you know, internet game, and it became multiplayer competitive online games. And kind of from paying $50 of a game to free to play, but then you obviously microtransactions and battle pass and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's just natural that the kind of next, let's say, big evolution in gaming is a Web3 play. Now, the problem is that the last bull market completely messed it all up, because there was so much hype in that space, and people was raising like stupid amounts of money against, you know, PowerPoint decks about the Web3 game.
Right, that's not happening anymore.
Of kids that literally had like 15-year-old kids who had never developed a game, you know, thinking that now they can build the next, I don't know, Fortnite because they sell NFTs and gamers want to own their, you know, like it was just pure stupidity and FOMO and all that cool Web3 stuff. So to answer your question, I truly believe that once the big publishers find essentially the ways to create value for the gamers, but for themselves with Web3 as a technology. Take an example, for example, most games has some sort of auction house or in-game, you know, economy.
Marketplace,
Marketplace, right? Well, that could be literally working like an NFT marketplace with essentially royalties that the publisher is collecting, and then for the gamers, this marketplace could, for example, live both inside the game and outside the game. I mean, Counter-Strike skins is maybe the closest thing that we have, but they are still then, the whole ownership part of that is not...
Right, it goes to the studio.
Yeah, it goes to the publisher. But basically, we'll get there. I think the last bull market set us behind and not forward. Hopefully, this next cycle that is kind of, you know, if not already full blown, which isn't in my opinion, but coming.
Right, it's coming.
I think that can be the breakthrough cycle for Web3 gaming.
Okay, so you think it needs to be a top-down approach, right? It needs to be the AAA studios, the Ubisoft, the Rockstar, the Epic Games kind of pushing this.
Yes and no.
Yeah,
no, it definitely, I mean, Ubisoft, for example, announced last cycle quite early, like, hey, we have this, you know, basically play into NFTs and
right, but they got so much backlash.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, so now they're trying to do it again. And I mean, now also gamers
but what went wrong there?
Well, because the real answer is it's not about the AAA studio, or it's about having a fun game, right? Like, whether it's a offline game or multiplayer story game or a Web3 game with Web3 technology, the game first needs to be fun, right? And then if the game is fun, which means players vote with their time by spending their time on the game, then, you know, then you can build whatever you want around that. It's like these days, if you want to build a company, you need to actually first build a community. If you have a community, then doesn't really almost matter what your product is. You can sell. Yeah, exactly. So games are very tribal, very you know, community driven at the end of the day. Take, like, I don't know, League of Legends versus Dota. It's, I mean, you know, if I say that it's the same game, I will get you know, massacred. But basically, the concept, right, is it's a very similar game, but the communities don't really mingle.
Right, like
they're
the gameplay is similar, but the gamers are different.
Or back in the day, we had, you know, FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer. Like it's a football game, but no, you either, you know, one or the other, right? So
are there any video games that incorporate Web3 elements, whether that's NFTs or something else that you have liked, that you've played in, that you've liked? Or maybe one that you're looking forward to playing? Yeah,
I mean, look, so I do actually quite a lot of, you know, small ticket angel investments into Web3 games, and obviously I only invest in games that I either really enjoy or or really believe in. And I'm not gonna make this any sort of shilling session. I'm not gonna even name a single one, but
okay.
Point being, no, I don't like that. Look, I believe in the game so much that whether I name drop them now or not, they're gonna fly. But the first question I always ask before I make an investment, I go like, okay, so if we take away the whole, NFT or whatever Web3 angle, like would people still play? And if the guys then can explain to me confidently, yeah, like that's just essentially a technology we're utilizing, but it's not by any means the core of the game. You can literally play the game by taking it away. Then I'm like, okay, now we're talking, right? And then there is a meaningful way that why, basically maybe it's a mechanic, how to track, how to reward the players of activity. Like I honestly, the whole ownership thing, that is it's such a small part. I don't actually believe in that. Like most people don't. We need to remember that people are playing games as a form of entertainment, right? People that have a good income, then they come home for a shitty, day at work. I don't know, sorry, like me, okay?
No,
but like, okay. They come home after a long day of work, and then they just want to like chill for 2 hours. They're not there like, oh, can I make $5? They probably made like, $1,500 or $5,000 or $55,000 that day. They come there to spend money, to enjoy. It's like going to the movies. Like you're willing to spend your $10 ticket, $20 popcorn, whatever, to just like get your brain out of the world.
Exactly.
Many people look at gaming the same way. And then here we're trying to like, oh, but if you sit here and click for 2 hours, you can make $1. It's like, that's not really what most people want, is it? There is a market for that, but that's not
It's not
gaming.
sustainable.
Right, exactly. Axie Infinity was a great example.
Right, but it depended on the amount of users, and once they weren't there, it didn't really work out.
It's a proper Ponzinomics, let's just put it that way.
All right, and so would you ever think of incorporating Web3 games into your company, into Yalla Esports?
I mean, absolutely. Actually, what we are now focusing on is building our own IP. Now, not a game, we're not a game developer, but we are building a kind of competitive circuit. Almost like a Formula 1 circuit, but for gaming across the whole MENA. We have our first LAN finals is happening here in the UAE in June, but what I want to make with that circuit that is special is we want to make it the technologically most advanced esports circuit. So if there is any, Web3 elements, or whether it's cool Web2 technology, we would use that. So for example, like we're definitely looking into like having our tickets in various kind of NFTs.
Okay.
As much as I hate the word metaverse, but we
Why?
are because metaverse for me was like World of Warcraft 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's just another
Each video game is a metaverse in itself.
Right. Okay. So fine. Then I don't hate it if you're on the same page here. But you know what I mean? Like that pitch deck metaverse. I hate that. So okay. The point being, so we are, for example, looking into like this metaverse-esque experience in our tournament, which means when the 5v5, it's Counter-Strike currently, in the 5v5 Counter-Strike, when they're playing the actual tournament, you can actually enter the game. Kind of, if you played Mario Kart ever, you remember the ghost car, right? Okay, so you can be the 11th ghost player there. You can literally be inside the map when they are playing shooting, and you can either just run like a little fanboy behind your favorite player. No, you like obviously the guys won't see you, right? Because otherwise you would mess up the actual game. Think of like a football match, but you could like be running on the field, but nobody sees you. But you can, if you wanna just follow Messi the whole day, or if you wanna, like, you can do whatever inside the game when the tournament is happening.
So is that a way to practice, to train?
So actually, funny enough, the technology came from essentially back in the days when it was used for practice and kind of replaying demos. But now we are turning into a live kind of live experience.
Oh, okay. Oh, for the audience.
Spectate. Yeah. So anybody can, so you can, instead of sitting and just watching the stream.
Oh, it's more interactive.
Yeah, you can go in there. I mean, to be honest, so we had 5 million viewers on our first season, and I expect maybe 0.1% of the people want to watch it that way. But this is what I mean when we want to build the most technologically advanced kind of circuit. We want to bring these cool little gadgets and stuff, and then not enforce it. It's like everybody can just have their, normal traditional experience. But if you want, you can try out these other things.
Okay.
And just to be clear, by the way, we are not building all these things in-house. We are finding cool partners from the Web3 space that are bringing these things to life. So
I'm sure.
If there is any cool Web3 companies that wants to incorporate with the, esports circuit, I'm here. My details is somewhere here.
Yeah, we'll tell people to follow up with you after. All right, so now we're gonna shift gears a little bit and leave gaming on the side for a little, and we're gonna talk about an announcement this week within the Solana ecosystem. So the Jupiter DEX is launching an airdrop this week, January 31st, and I know that I don't know if you want me to call you a Solana maxi, but you do love Solana. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what's going on and what this means for
It's Jupiter Bowl today. No, so first of all, the announcement happened already, I think, in November, and obviously people been teasing. So Jupiter is it's like Uniswap for Solana. It's currently actually in volume more swaps and basically monthly active users than any Ethereum or any other chain. So it's a massive DEX basically. And I mean, I'm not a Solana maxi. I use Ethereum. I really wanted back in the days IMX to work, but it just didn't for me. So. Sorry?
Immutable?
Yeah. I used to play, I'm a card gamer, so I used to play Gods Unchained a lot, but then I stopped playing because the immutable experience was so, bridge here and there and whatever. On Solana, stuff it just works, and look, I've been shilling Solana when we were down at $8. To be fair, I also shill Solana at $200, and I'll shill Solana when we go back to 200 again. So, look, it's very simple if you think of Solana. This is what I always tell people. I think Solana is the only chain where people talk about Solana without having a bag. Most people I know don't own more than, let's say, 2 Sol, 1 Sol even, just to use it, Many other chains, not gonna again name anything, but only people who talk, you ask how much do you have? They have $100,000 worth, and they're talking for other reasons maybe, right? So I'll leave it at that. But Jupiter, it's a huge thing for the whole Solana ecosystem, and to be honest, for the crypto ecosystem. Why? Because depending obviously where the token price lands, let's say today, but we're talking about $100 million injection of liquidity, essentially airdrop for free to everybody who used Jupiter basically for the past 3 years, based on volume. But even if you literally did 1 swap, the minimum is 200 Jup, and it's starting at $0.4. I think is the price, and let's say that already is $300 for everybody. And let's remember, on Solana, people are flipping NFTs to make a profit of $10-20.
Right, not much.
So $100 free. For a Solana user, it's a lot of money.
You get a lot. Yeah.
That's there's a lot of Solana people from Southeast Asia who they get $1,000 today. That's literally a year's worth of salary. I have never seen so many happy people around me, and I'm so happy for them. It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So what are you investing in Solana?
Well, I mean, look, if you're investing today, you're probably too late, because obviously people have priced everything in. Obviously, I'm gonna try to buy as much Jup as I can today, because it's a completely free launch. There is no VC money. There was no pre-sale. It's literally, it comes on the market, and they have built props to the Jupiter team. Honestly, they have built a massive launch pad, which is kind of throttling it in the beginning, so it doesn't look like this FOMO spike and then people get trapped and whatever. It's kind of linear. Basically, it maybe goes a bit against an open market, but to be honest, when you try to airdrop $100 million with all the bots and like this was the only way how to do it. They actually launched a meme token called VEN, W-E-N,
yes.
just a couple days ago, just to test if the thing works.
Yeah.
And that token was traded at like 100 million volume and went crazy. So we know now that the launchpad works.
Okay.
And now it's the actual token. I by the way believe that a meme token, which was the test for Jupiter's launch token. This I mean, it's not going to be a bonk, but. Now I'm shilling. Actually, I said I shouldn't chill. But yeah.
Bonk was also successful.
Yeah, I mean, look, Bonk saved Solana back in the bear market. Basically, they made Bonk like last Christmas, like 1 year ago, as a kind of like a thank you and reward for people still believing, people still building. Technically, the token had like little to none value, and if you would have held those airdrops, there was people like with millions. Everybody had like tens to $100,000. I mean, even myself should have probably held my Bonk much further. But on the other hand, it was a token to pay yourself a salary to keep building for 2023. That was what Bonk was all about. Simple.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Beautiful meme coins. Do you think like airdrops and meme coins are a good part about this industry, or a good thing for us? Like, I feel like you said, you know, a lot of it was pumping, dumping, people just wanting to make a profit. Oh, free money here. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit here, see if I can get some out there. Like, is that helping us to progress as an industry?
I love this question. So look, I mean, obviously there is meme coins, and if the ticker is name of a body part or a car or something like that, you probably know what you're getting yourself into, and it's not smart, right? But then you have other like projects that use basically airdrops as it's marketing spend. So for example, Jupiter. When they announced that the airdrop comes, they already kind of took the snapshot earlier, and now people are like, oh, I'm using, Jupiter Exchange now. No, that $100 million is going to people who used the exchange basically since like 2021 until November or so 2023.
Right. Loyal users.
Loyal users. So airdrops in its very simple form. How does any product work in Web3? You have a protocol or whatever that collects fees. Like, use my code and it collects fees. I'm collecting fees. Well, then when I have basically scaled big enough with users, I take some of these fees and airdrop it back to the users that actually kept paying to me.
Okay.
That's what an airdrop in its simplest form should be. And that's a good airdrop. And some people say it kind of upfront, hey, 50% of these fees will get airdrop back to you at some point in time. And some people just kind of do it when they feel they have the momentum or whatever. But that's smart. And is probably the best way of building community and best way of
getting more users.
Yeah. but for example, like, I have got so many airdrops on Solana, yet I have like never farmed them.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, do you have any like tips or resources that people can use who are looking to learn more about farming specifically?
Well, as I said, I don't really farm, but obviously I can. So my point here being, just use protocols you like, because then you're paying fees. That's how they make money. But obviously they will then most likely at some point airdrop some of that revenue back. Now, one pro tip though, especially on Solana, is use multiple wallets. Because on Solana, it's essentially free to, you have your backpack or Phantom or whatever, just do like 10 wallets for security reasons. First of all, let's say you have $1,000, split $100 in each, so that if you click something stupid, you only get drained $100, not the whole 1,000.
Okay.
Right? And I mean, on Solana, there's a lot of like, anyway, that's the problem when the chain is so cheap. It's kind of, you can keep spamming fake NFTs and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because virtually costs nothing. Anyway, sidetracking. So point here, you have then 10 wallets. Use it. Let's say you wanna put $1,000 into a borrow and lend platform, right? Put 10 wallets and put $100 each and deposit 10 different times. Then when, I mean...
For the same airdrop?
Yeah, no, for the same protocol. But basically what do you do, right? I mean, yeah, essentially same airdrop. But what happens, first of all, like let's say one of your wallets get hacked, you still have 900 left, right? And the second off, then when they do airdrop, most like Jupiter, for example, there's a minimum allocation of 200 Jupiter Jup for the smallest amount. Okay. So if you would have done this with 10 wallets, you would have 2,000 Jup coming today, right? And before, airdrops were very much like volume driven, which kind of favored the whales.
Right, the more you put in, the more you receive.
Yeah, like if you create volume on a DEX or whatever, you get like airdrop based on your volume.
Yeah.
Now they have kind of realized, hey, wait a minute, if I get $100 to, 10,000 people in Southeast Asia, there's gonna be like this army of super happy people talking about me like small micro-influencers versus that one whale that you give $100,000. He probably don't even want to tell anybody because he want to kind of stay undoxed to begin with.
Yeah.
So I think I have noticed this shift into a wider airdrop allocation with kind of smaller minimum guarantees.
Okay.
So how do you farm that? Is to split your essentially eggs into multiple baskets.
Okay.
But to be honest, it's also smart for security reasons. So
I wanted to say, like, what would you say to someone who's scared? Like sometimes I get stuck. I'm like, wait, I want to do this, but I don't know if I should put in this much, but should I use this wallet? But what if it gets hacked? Like, should I connect it to this dApp? Like, I get stuck just sometimes because I'm scared.
I mean, look, so obviously, do your own research and read the docs and all that stuff, but like, use a hardware wallet.
Okay.
Like use a ledger. Now Trezor actually just launched basically support to SPL tokens, so you can have Solana on a Trezor. My Finnish pronunciation is always a bit what it is.
No worries.
We'll get there. But yeah, so obviously if you have, I mean, whatever is a lot to you, for somebody it's $100, for somebody it's 100,000. When you like feel that you have too much money, you can't sleep, put it in a hardware wallet. That's already like, 90% of the work done. Then obviously like any DeFi protocol has a smart contract risk. It can get hacked or whatever, but like, for example, something like Jupiter, it's been there for 3 years and there's like billions of dollars inside. So I guess like if it would have been hacked, like everybody who think that they can hack that is probably trying and will keep trying, and it's still going strong. So maybe if you see a protocol that launched yesterday, 10,000% returns an API.
Sketchy.
Think twice, but if you use the kind of old and good ones, the risk is pretty mitigated. And I mean, look, there's a reason why traditional banks pay you like 1% interest over the year. Is that safe? You have inflation and blah, blah, blah. Or maybe you can get like 10% on a DeFi protocol, but then like, is that 9% extra yield more than the smart contract risk? I mean, let's just say I have much more of my net worth in, monkey JPEGs and DeFi protocols on Solana than
in banks.
Any bank. So personal choice.
All right. We're running out of time. So just one last question. What is the best way to get in touch with you, Klauss, to learn more about Yalla Esports?
So, I mean, look, professionally, LinkedIn, there you can see me with my real face. On Twitter, you either see me with the Mad Lads or a monkey picture, depending on my mood, and Telegram. Maybe
Mad Lads is doing well.
Sorry?
Mad Lads is doing well, by the way.
So I minted Mad Lads. I told all my friends to mint Mad Lads, and here we are. I think I have one friend that has Mad Lads. So I now have more friends than one. I told it to quite a few.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Klauss, so much for your time today. I learned a lot.
Thank you so much for having me.
And everyone, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Web3 Talks. Make sure to follow Klauss and to watch other episodes on Web3 TV. See you later, guys.